Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. I have a message for all of you who consider yourselves Christians here in our Western culture. The message I have for you is that you, every one of you, is under the spell of satanic mind control. For you have been trained to follow a doctrine by storytellers who have ensconced themselves in positions of power from the beginning of time through the creation of institutions which enable them to control your minds. The basic fundamental mind control institutions are that of government, which controls your mind through the imposition of fear into your mind, uncertainty, through force, fear, coercion, through force of arms, through police agencies who control your behavior and punish you if you do not follow arbitrary rules that have been set forth by other men who seek to enslave you and have succeeded to a degree. The other institution is that of religion, through the psychological mysticism that creates superstitions, myths, legends, fantasies, illusions, all of which are fictional creations of the intellectual mind. And you have accessed that realm of illusion through your intellect, for that is where you see the world. And what you are seeing is not the world, for the world is truth unfolding in every single eternal moment of now, the actual moment of unfolding. But you don't see it that way. You see it through the after moment, the conditioned after moment, the memories, through storytelling that are repeated endlessly so that they become habitual. They become the foundation of your ego. But you find that you are limited in that view. Well, when you meet another with another limited view, unlike yours, you find yourself in opposition to them. And the opposition takes the form of argument, debate, fighting, death, wars. All of these things are found only in the intellect, that are made manifest through the actions of confused, confounded, grief and anger-stricken people like yourselves. You don't know how you got that way, for all of your life is spent in that dualistic and opposing realm of intellect, not knowing that that is the realm of consciousness that is ruled by Satan, the opposer. That is not your true state of consciousness. Your true state is direct perception, direct resonance at one with truth, the non-dualistic energy of God. For God is truth, and truth is God. How have you fallen from that state of truth? You have fallen to the temptation of the intellect, ruled by Satan, and you have consented to your own self-induced ignorance. For Satan has no power over anyone without first gaining the consent from that living, breathing, flesh and blood man or woman. What are you going to do about it? Why do you continue to live the way you do, arguing within your own mind before you can come to a clear decision to take an action? And in the meantime, projecting your confusion outwardly to others who are equally confused as you, and therefore readily amenable toward argument and debate, fighting, division, exploitation, competition. Don't you see that you have created the hell that you live in? For without your contribution, you individual, would not be caught by hell. Hell would exist, but it would exist in the intellects of only those who cannot break free, who cannot break the spell, the hypnotic spell which binds them to the cocoon of satanic thinking, of dualistic oppositional thoughts, of intellectualism. It is clear that the intellect must be used for communicating with other intellects and for resolving artificial technical problems that are made of those things that have been erected by the intellectual mind, the inventions of our time, technical events that have taken us away from our primary consciousness and a direct perception of truth. It has contributed to our modern world, no question about that. It has made life a little more comfortable, but it has divided man and created the schism of wealth. The wealth is extracted from the life energy of those who are on the lower rungs of intelligence, who are the workers, the laborers who labor every day at the sweat of their brow and are merely given a pittance to live on. The money is controlled, the money being a representation of energy. We are being robbed of our own life's energy every day that we remain subject, enslaved to our intellects. And there's no end to it. You see, the satanic mind is the instrument of more and less. You see, in a state of wholeness, there is only what is, a certain amount of energy. But in the division of the intellect, that wholeness is divided into the haves and the have-nots. And the have-nots are you. vast majority of you who give up your life's energy to some unseen satanic force that conditions your mind into complacency, into a fear-based existence, where if you do not conform to the demands of those who make the rules, you will be punished. That is the nature of the satanic world that we call civilized society. It's time for that to end. And each of you listening to me, to this voice of the living Christ, a man of truth, the simple man of truth, one who has understood the folly of ambition and has set that aside, one who has understood the illusion of wealth, for he has all that is necessary for him to live a peaceful life, and anything beyond that is temptation. Temptation into the more, temptation into power. That is a tough nut to crack, and most of you may not find that you are capable of doing such a thing. But it is there that one finds peace on earth, for everything that is needed to live a loving, full life is there. No effort. When greed falls away, love exists. Competition dissolves, and one cooperates. How do you come to that point? Do you even want to come to that point? Or are you enamored with the kind of life that you have because you have a comfortable position in hell? Yours is an air-conditioned office in hell, and therefore you don't mind if other people live in the heat, the oppressive heat, which strips away their life just to live, just to get by. I have the solution for you. If you really want to change your life, you must rise above duality, rise above the intellect. How do you do that? Well, you see, you open your eyes, you look at the world, that's all you see. Duality, strife, struggle, war, combat, conflict. And you want out. Well, I have demonstrated in my life experiences how one can do that. And I've been writing about it and speaking about it for the last 19 years on the intellect. And you know what? Nobody wants to hear it. They have to denigrate this simple man of truth. They have to destroy credibility, because the consequences of realizing the truth of what this man says will cause them to face themselves, will cause you to face yourselves and come to a moment of truth. That moment of truth requires change. Can you change? Do you even want to change? Or are you willing to give up your life because you're too lazy to face what you have become? You'd rather die than change. Well, you shall soon get your promise if that's the case. Or your wish, rather. For war is upon us. World War III, with governments all over the world will turn on its people, and their collective attempt to enslave all. Now, how do you change that? Simply this. In this dualistic, duplicitous world of lies, world of deception, a world where you cannot get through the moment without telling a lie, because you have been trained to live such a life, such a duplicitous life. All you have to do is stop lying. Never tell another lie. Not a simple lie, not a complex lie, not a white lie, not a black lie. Tell no contradiction in essence. Merely speak the truth as you see it unfolding in that moment and hold to it. You know what? Your world will change. The guy next to you may not change, but your world will change. One by one by one by one. Such truth shall overcome all deception. That is the second coming of Christ consciousness. For Christ is merely a simple man of truth. Forget all the myths. Forget all the legends the fairy tales that you have been inundated with for your whole life. And you realize that they are all illusions. They are all reflections. They are not truth. They are not whole. They are not complete. For if they were, you'd have nothing to argue about. All would see the truth for what it is. And those who could not and attack you for it, well, you deal with them in self-defense. One by one, you hold to the truth, but you also exercise your unalienable right to self-defense. And you watch how quickly this satanically ruled world will change. And all you had to do is not lie. Simple? It is simple. But it is to a conditioned satanic intellect almost impossible. Because the beliefs that have enslaved them will not allow such clarity to exist. That is why I continue to speak to you, even though you disregard everything I say. Or if you don't disregard, you don't have the courage to agree openly, to expose yourself to the numbers of those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and therefore those who control the news, those who control the images, the internet, the media, the government, the religions. All of these people are satanic rulers. If you dig deep enough, you will see that what I say is true. So if you want to change, if you want a different world for your children, for your grandchildren, for posterity, it's up to you. It feels. You cannot relegate your responsibility to others to change your world. You cannot depend upon others to do that which you must do yourself. And what is that you must do yourself? Merely to speak and live truth, and let the devil take the hindmost. Thank you for your attention.